Do you think we have there's something that differentiates Bitsian from IITs and Stanford people?
They are defined it in one word only: simplicity.
This thing of AI replacing was a problem back then.
Venturing into this new area of artificial intelligence in civil engineering. And this is a story of 1989.
Because in India we use a lot of jugaad. We are not exactly using the ethical code and the material.
They are going with the wave where the better remuneration you get it because of the large investment that happen at the education stage.
In India, we often misinterpret fluency in English with the brilliance.
On my table keeping the two dictionaries. Okay. One dictionary from English to Gujarati and Gujarati to English.
Do you think you are creative?
I'm an accidental academician. For the children, the last hope is the parents.
Does the leadership sometimes feel lonely? Thank you very much, sir, for joining us today. And so recently, I met you a couple of times with Civil Association and Directors, Tea Party and all the stuff. Mm-hmm. And I've seen, in a couple of days, I've seen all the talks out there. One thing I realized that even the camera can capture that charismatic vibe and the charming nature. Like exactly what when we meet you in person, you are addressing public, you are in front of camera. It's all you're consistently the same. So, and the grounded person you are. So does that groundedness comes from the very early childhood? What established your Neev for this groundedness, and you climbed the ladder?
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Taneesha, for this interview. First of all, heartiest congratulations for the Neev. But I just want to tell you, the upbringing plays a very, very important role of the value system.
Yeah.
I grew up in a very, very small place. I think the smaller than maybe possibly Pilani. And the kind of people who were around me, they came from a different spheres of life. My father was in railways. He was an assistant station master, and I grew up in the railway colony.
Yeah.
So I have seen the people who were the porter's kids to the officer's kids. I kind of been working, playing with them, and schooling to my college days. I was with them. That has taught me to get connected with the community without any fear.
Yeah.
No discrimination for what background they come, what kind of setup they come, and all that. And in the process, I learned one simple thing was that appreciate the people who do the good things, irrespective from which part of the world they come or which place they come, which gender, which community, doesn't matter. So I think that has laid a very, very strong foundation of value system. So that appreciation is very, very important.
Yeah.
And you need to really respect every individual.
Yeah.
So that is the most important part. So I think you can say that that has made me some kind of a fearless in any kind of a setup.
Yeah.
I can walk into any setup and I will not have any problem with it.
Right, we saw just right now actually. And so this fearness, do you think like back you come from a very rural background, just you mentioned, and your mother tongue is Gujarati regional language, right?
No,
no?
My mother tongue is Marathi.
Oh, okay.
All right. So I was born in near Nagpur, 60 kilometers away from Nagpur. I was just born there, but I grew up in Gujarat because as my father was working in railways there. And I grew up in the part of the city, near city, Vadodara. Mm-hmm. So, and I studied in a Gujarati medium.
Okay.
So my schooling was from the first grade onwards until 12th grade, I studied in Gujarati medium. Mm-hmm. Okay. And after that, I moved to my engineering and so on. So I think my background is, though I'm a Maharashtrian, I grew up in Gujarat.
Yeah.
So that's how so most of the people think that I'm a Gujarati.
Okay. And studying in the medium and coming from the rural background, do you think that English was the physical wall back then for you?
Yeah, very interesting question. Because I compare with the new generation now and my times.
Yeah.
So the schooling which I did was during the period of my higher secondary was in 1982. Those were the days after the completing the higher secondary. I moved to engineering, immediately the whole medium of education changed from Gujarati to English. And interestingly, it was a very, very difficult time for me because coming from a Gujarati medium, going to English medium, it is not very easy to move. And those were the days when I still remember on my table keeping the 2 dictionaries. One dictionary from English to Gujarati and Gujarati to English. So to understand. So sometimes I used to think in Gujarati and trying to write in English, or understand in English and then try to figure it out in Gujarati. Was a very, very challenging. But I think that has taught me one thing, that initially I might be I had a challenging times, no doubt about it. In academics, it was very difficult when most of the people coming from English medium background to engineering institute, they could navigate very quickly, but I had a very struggling time. So first year, you can say my academic performance was not very good. Though I could barely clear up the things and all that, but then I got a grip on the whole thing, like how do you really kind of manage everything and all that. And then second year onwards, I never looked back. It was like I always passed with the first class with distinction in every year.
Wow.
So and towards the end when I went, it was the cohort of almost like 150 students, undergraduate. I was a 5th rank holder in the class. So it was the simple thing is just I want to tell is that anybody who is now this generation, actually people who are there, when you come from a different medium, maybe your own personal mother tongue you have studied, and if you come to a setup which is a English speaking world, don't be scared. I think one needs to really put a hard work. There are no shortcuts. Let me tell you that there are no shortcuts, and you need to put a hard work. And once you put in hard work, honestly, I think always the future is bright. So I felt that way only, that the working honestly, sincerely has paid me back whatever I deserve actually. So
that is actually, sometimes in India we often misinterpret fluency in English with the brilliance, and we lose the talent.
Correct.
Do you think still this is a case, and even in the rural region we lose talent because of this?
So I think once again a very good question, because let me just tell you, the world has become so hybrid language based, and that's why I always don't say English or I don't say Hindi, I say English. So if you mix it up, I think it's a fabulous, as long as the meaning has been conveyed very, very correctly. I don't think so there is any challenge in that. So I don't think so people will differentiate you because just you can't communicate fluently in English. I think it's not going to be the hindrance, because as you practice more and more, things will become better and better for you. And to do that one, as I said, that apart from the kind of a communication, whatever way you can make it in your maybe exams or while communicating with people and all that, no problem. But read a lot. So what happens is that when you read the storybooks, or you read the English newspapers, you read the magazines, that will make your vocabulary to be better. And once your vocabulary becomes better, then I think your communication will become better. So that is something which is there, and you need to practice it. And let me just tell you, I read a lot of Reader's Digest during those engineering days, and also the magazines, newspapers, which I read very regularly. That really helped me to kind of come out of that fear of not communicating well in English. So I think that's the best thing to do, to go beyond the academic curriculum and kind of get into the other reading part habit also. So
I was seeing your one talk back from 2013. So you were arguing about standard curriculum being too textbook oriented and it should be more industrial driven. The students should be more industrial driven. We are talking about this for a long time, decades now. Are we even moving towards it, or it's just in the talks?
Very good. Again, I think let me just tell you there is always in academic forum and most of these summits, a lot of discussion happens between the industry, academia collaborations. And I strongly believe that experiential knowledge is the key to move forward. So even though the curriculum might be look like a basic building blocks for people to have a competency and the background in that particular subject domain, but the teacher needs to become a very innovative and a creative in the same content, how that can be made very exciting, which can be industry experience based. Okay, and that is why one of the ways is that if a faculty member also goes and spends time into the industry, understands the nuisance of the industry, what are the different things they are doing it. So if they capture that, and when they come to the classroom, that's the one way of bringing the industry experience and all that. So I still strongly believe that the experiential knowledge is a key when we want to make the students to learn forward. During my undergraduate days, I felt that we had a more of a mix of the experimental work with the theoretical work. Over the period of time, that experimental work is getting reduced. It is not kind of getting into the experiential part of it. But now industry coming forward and providing the different platforms, I think that experiential part will increase. BITS is not far behind in that sense. BITS has been, because of its unique curriculum, has always provided a very good experience in the industry. So I think, but in general, I think many of the academic institutions have a very serious problem, where they are still going through those routine kind of teaching methodologies, and the students do not have a basic idea about it, what the physical world will look like actually.
Right. Like, this is also a very creative approach, because back in 2013 you proposed this. Do you think you are creative?
Oh yes, I am. I will tell you, and I would like to share this story with all of you here. Is that I joined in IIT Kharagpur as a faculty in 1998, and I had launched a new course called Soft Computing Tools in Engineering. That was a very, very unique course, which was offered across all the disciplines. Though I was a civil engineer, but the kind of students can come, other than the computer science students, everybody else can take this course. And in this course, though there is a set framework, I changed the complete framework there. So the evaluation framework was very simple. There is a mid-semester exam, there is an end-semester examination, there is some teacher's assessment. There were only 3 components. I completely changed it. What I did was that I divided this component and added 2 more components into it. One was, I call them, is called term paper preparation. So, and the second was the group project. So the term project component, where a student has to read a research paper and summarize it in his or her language within 4 pages. And they have to write 3 term papers like that. So there is no cut and paste business. They have to rewrite in their own language. I used to use the plagiarism checks, through which I used to find out that how much copied from somewhere. So they had to be original. So that used to give them two practices. One, to understand, assimilate, and write. All right, and prepare a paper. So that is a term paper they used to do in the course. The group project, where the students were designing the project by themselves, learning the tools around, and then the project would be peer reviewed. The whole class is to review them, along with me. So there is to be a serious competition among themselves, and there was a basic rule that if the content or a project is copied or it has been plagiarized, and if any of the students reports to me that this is a source and this is from where the student has picked up, or group has picked up, they used to get 0 credit. So straight away, and it was a major component of it. So there is a term paper, there is a project, there is a mid-semester examination, there is an end-semester examination, and there is this one. So the kind of an activity which I brought in, till today, I think wherever I go and the students who have taken my course, still they recognize me that we took that course. And if he says that he has taken that course or she has taken that course with me in, let's say, in 2010 or 2007, the first question I'll ask him, what was the project you did? And he will very fondly remember that this was the project which I did, that and all that. So what I want to say is that hands-on experience of doing the project. Now in this whole exercise, if you go a little deeper into it, you will understand that project is done by one set of students, but they have learned another 25 projects because other people have presented it.
Right.
So there is a collaborative learning.
Yeah.
And since you are a part of a jury, you are a part of an evaluation scheme, you are very sincerely doing your job of reviewing the projects.
Right.
So in the process, you do a good job of learning, good job of evaluating. At the same time, you are able to imbibe. So something which you cannot learn in maybe 45 or so lectures in a whole semester, they used to learn maybe in 24 hours of total project evaluation. Everyone is to get maximum benefit out of it.
Yeah. Right. That is
And that used to, that learning was very useful to them because they could write in their CV
right.
that these are the term papers they have done it, this is the group projects they have done it, and many times the students could come out with the research paper for the conferences. They got the internships abroad. They were able to publish some people into a major good conferences internationally abroad also. So the only one course can do so much to them. I think that whole pedagogy I had changed it into the. So I always say that my role was in the class to be more of a motivator, give them the fundamentals and ask them to explore those tools, how you can apply as a project.
It started where you used fuzzy logic and neural networks in the civil engineering back in 1989.
Okay, so that is a different story because I will tell you, my master's was, as I said, I did it in Baroda. But my work was on fracture mechanics that time. Fracture mechanics, I used it for my master's thesis. So natural intent would be people would be moving to the similar kind of a project or similar kind of areas of research when somebody gets an opportunity to do the research. In my case, what happened is that when I moved to IIT Bangalore for my PhD, more or less I had also similar idea that I would, whatever I have learned in masters, possibly I'll try to find out and do the research in the similar area. But then what happened is that whenever you have the uncertainty around you, all right, and you don't get somebody who can supervise your work into similar area, the trouble starts there. So you are now put into an ocean and you don't know swimming. And that was my situation. So the supervisor whom I wanted to pick them, those supervisors were not ready to take me for a PhD student because they are already committed for somebody else. So then I started exploring the other supervisors, and that is where I came across one of the professors incidentally. He was a group lead in BITS Pilani for 1 year. His name is there in the department, Professor P.C. Pandey. He had joined as a professor there in IIT Bangalore, and I met him. And he is a professor in the area of finite element method. And I casually had a conversation with him that, okay, I'm now looking for as a PhD supervisor and all that. So he mentioned to me that, okay, I work in finite element and fracture also, but I'm venturing into this new area of artificial intelligence in civil engineering. And this is a story of 1989. Okay. And incidentally, when I asked him that how much do you have a background and all that, he says, I'm also learning. So that was a great part about listening from him. And then that made me that, what is this artificial intelligence? What does it do? And I was very fortunate that I had a wonderful friends in IIT Bangalore who were from computer science department. And I went to them and I asked them that, what is an artificial intelligence? Can you just tell me? And then they explained to me in a very simpler term because they were doing PhD in artificial intelligence. So then I said, oh wow, so I think this is a new area. I did not have any clue of it. And then I said, let me just take a plunge in this one. And they told me one thing, that if you take this subject and apply in civil engineering, hopefully you might have a greener pasture for you. And that was the turning point of my life. So I went and I told my professor and said, okay, I'm interested to work on artificial intelligence. He says, then I too don't have much background, you too don't have background. We'll go and attend all the classes of artificial intelligence in computer science department. So both of us used to go and attend the classes together. And I credited a lot of courses in computer science department of artificial intelligence, knowledge-based expert systems, robotics, and all those courses I did in computer science department, which is part of the course requirement for PhD. And slowly over the period of time, I built up on that, starting from fuzzy logic and then artificial intelligence, expert systems, what they call, the neural networks and all those things. I learned it, and it it indeed turned out to be a very greener pasture for me. So by the time I submitted my thesis, I think it was a first of its kind thesis in India. And because the early work was in Carnegie Mellon University in USA, there the first PhD came out in 1987-89, and after that I think I got many publications because of it was a new work and all that, and there was no looking back after that.
Wow. Even in BITS, we have a lot of startups. People are trying new things, and when we are stepping into something, we do a lot of things and we learn a lot, even in the process of failure.
Correct.
This makes me wonder. Even back then, we had AI. Starting initial phase of the AI, was that a problem back then? Was that this thing of AI replacing everything, or the general task was a problem? Was the thing in the mind back then also, or it's just the development? As we see the development coming in, we are more. We have this fear more.
Okay, I think once again what you said is very, very right. So I remember when 1989 when I started working in this AI and all that, and that time computer science was in a pretty I can say matured stage in terms of artificial intelligence and all that. Always there is people had that impression that the human will be replaced by the artificial intelligence, but we looked at always as not as the replacement, but we looked at as the complementary part of it. So some of the activities or some of the engineering problem solving which can be done routinely, that those kind of a repetitive nature of the exercise, if it is converted by the artificial intelligence and can be given to them, which would be able to produce the solutions which any human can produce, and use the natural intelligence of a person for more critical problems. Yeah. So that was a thought process. So using the routine matters can be left to AI, which can be done very easily. But some of the things where you really have to get into a very criticality of it, that is where the human intelligence can play a very, very important, so that he can focus more on that. That was a basic intent of it. And let me just tell you, those days to now, whatever it has happened now, the whole journey which has happened, people having the threat in the terms of that they say that AI is going to replace everything. No. AI is going to still work in a complementary way with the human intelligence. And that is why I think the most important part is that how we adapt, okay, the AI and make use of that AI so that some of the tasks can be easily given to them and some of the critical tasks which we take it up. So that's so that you can have a very, very perfect balance of both the things here.
And if I'm where the core technology is, like you just mentioned, we need the human intuition over there.
Correct.
But we see a major trend in shift, there's a shift from core technology, core engineering to finance, consulting and PM. Recently we saw this in the placement season as well. But majorly because of fatty paychecks, in the coming ages, this core technology will be valued more because that generic task cannot be replaced by AI, and there is a need of human intuition and specialists over there. So
so I just want to tell you that I think what you said is very, very important, because what is happening is that the many academic institutions, the human talent which is getting created, they are going with the wave where the better remuneration you get it because of the large investment that have happened at the education stage, and everybody wants to make the quick money into that segment. That's why people are moving towards this one. Now what is going to happen is that some of the segments which are very critical, what you said about the core sector, the talented people's scarcity would be there. So demand of the talented people would be very, very high into that segment, which is basically the core for any nation. So I think that is where I think the opportunities are going to come up. So people who will continue to follow the core engineering part or core sector part, maybe currently it may not be very attractive in terms of the remuneration. But I have seen the people who have stick to that for next 5 to 10 years down the line, they would be always matching with other people. So it's all about patience. It's all about the keeping the connect with your core competence. And if you continue that, maybe I think instead of comparing yourself with others, better you compare to yourself and say, okay, what I am good at it, and let me go for that and move for that passion. I think that is very important.
Right. And like structural, like we are having a lot of systems, lot of technology in civil as well. And still, the circular economy is also a very crucial part. And you have done work in particle
Packing
methods, yeah. So basically, if what stopped it into the, like, is there any bottlenecks in that respect that we are using, we cannot use recycled materials in building any infrastructure?
Okay. So I think, let me just tell you, because this is something which is, again, I will tell you, most of you might have heard that I'm most of a computational person. And I moved to work into materials much later in my part of my career. One of the reasons was that I don't know how many people remember that there was Gujarat, the earthquake was a very, very famous earthquake where a lot of buildings collapsed and all that. So one of the questions which came up in my mind, which was like in 2002 or something like that, that where will this debris go? Where will all these buildings which has fallen down, where they will go? What will happen to that material? And that was a triggering point for me to explore and say, can we just explore the world of construction demolition waste? And that was a recycling, that first idea came up for doing the research in that segment. And when I looked around and I found that in the international market, many of the countries were really doing a lot of great work into the recycle aggregates and using them and all that. So then we looked at in the Indian context, not much of a research was there. People were doing in bits and pieces, but we wanted to do very systematically. And that made me to look at the recycling the materials and how do you really use the construction demolition waste material and all that. So later on we found that the Department of Science and Technology had come out with the survey report. And that survey report was highlighting about what is the status in India of the C&D waste utilization. And there was not much of exercise was done there. So when we did this work, the 2-3 things were there. One of the things was that if you want to make these construction demolition waste material into the real life, there needs to be codal provision. If the standard code of practice, the IS code, what we call, or BIS code, if it is not recommending it, people will not use it. And then it was found that the codal provision says around 20% you can use it.
Right.
The construction demolition waste material.
Okay.
And that was the time, the research we wanted to do was that why only 20%? Why it cannot be 100%?
Right.
So 20 to 100% when you go, so naturally if you use the construction demolition waste 100% from, then you are saving so much of a natural resources which are in quarries and all that. And that made me to do a research into a particle packing method.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, that is how it came. So the particle packing method is nothing but it's a method of designing a concrete mix where we can create a concrete which is dense concrete. And if you create a dense concrete, then the concrete performance would be better.
Yeah.
So what it was observed earlier was that using a recycle aggregate was not giving the performance of a concrete as good as like a natural aggregate. And we wanted to achieve the performance like a natural aggregate, we use this particle packing method.
Right.
And that was proven very well that if you use this technique, you are able to get the performance as good as like a natural aggregate.
Right.
So in the process, we learn about the design practice. We could come out with the solution which can match with that, and we save the natural resources, which can also reduce the dumping yards or the places where people have to do. So when you are using this one, in the process, you are reducing the carbon footprint.
Yeah.
And
right.
that is where the life cycle assessment point of view, it comes that how can we reduce the carbon footprint. And we went one step ahead there.
Right.
Apart from using the recycle aggregate, we also looked at that the cement what we use in our concrete, if you produce a 1 ton of a cement, you are getting a 1 ton of a carbon dioxide you are creating.
Okay.
So if I reduce the consumption of a cement, then I am reducing the carbon footprint as well. So we started looking at replacing the cement by fly ash.
Okay.
So the recycle aggregate for aggregate, which is not natural resources, and also fly ash. And that way 30% of that, if you reduce the cement utilization, you are able to get the similar kind of a concrete, and that is how we reduce the carbon footprint there as well. So both ways, be it from cement point of view, be it from aggregate point of view, we are able to kind of come out, and these are the work which actually helps for the real life situation where you can do that.
Yeah, actually approaching the problem for the real life solutions, and it is essentially also contributing to the environment, because construction industry is a massive monster.
Yeah. That's correct, absolutely.
I want to jump onto the part where I saw you were having this 100 marathon of 100 days, 100 patents in IIT. So was that how many firstly were the decorated papers, and how many of them could convert to the startups and some industry oriented projects?
So I will tell you, I think because this was when I was a PIC professor in charge of intellectual property rights and the industrial relation, the idea was that many of the research work which we do, this I think must have happened almost like 10 years back or 15 years back roughly, I think. That was a time when we decided that first was that it was not, we thought about creating the startups or the product part of it. The main intent was there, how can we generate the patents out of our work? Okay, is it possible to do that? And that was where I think our director at that time, we had Professor P.P. Chakravarti was a director, and he came out with an idea. He said that, can we do it 100 days, 100 patents? So it was kind of unthinkable actually, and this you can't even imagine that somebody can talk about 100 patent. But then he highlighted very important part of it. The undergraduate students do a very interesting piece of work. Postgraduate students do very interesting piece of work. There are PhD students who do a lot of interesting piece of work. So if we identify even in that group of people, so the idea was not to go immediately first for like kind of technology or anything, but the idea was that can we file even patents based on this work. So we initially did the workshops with the students of undergraduate, PhDs and master students and faculty members together. And to our surprise, I think more than 225 initially the abstract had come for each and every whatever work they had present, kind of done it and all that. And we put the IP specialist, our law students, to review and find out the patent search and all that. And finally, around out of 170 or so, 107 were in a stage where they could file the patents.
Okay, wow.
So we could do this exactly in 90 days.
Okay.
So that's like 10 days for workshops and all that, but another 90 days we could hire the patent attorney and we could file the patents and all that. So the idea was that time it was not converting them to a product or the startup that time, but first to create a culture of writing the patents.
Right.
So that was the exercise which we did that, and we were successful. 107 patents were filed that time.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So when you were in the rush of, when you were in the pursuit of this 100 patents, and at the same time you have to maintain the other problems as well, like maintaining the courses and curriculums, increasing the women participation in between. The mindset where we also incorporate the different ideas beyond the academics, how does that fits in with the this academic driven initiatives?
So I think one needs to really come out with a very tactfully an activity during the coursework or during the studies in such a way that you can really kind of pluck the low-lying fruits very quickly. All right. So it's the main intention is very clear. The intention is that during 4 years' time, when you are here, I give an example, simple example. Let's say you are a part of a photography club, just one simple example. How can I make that photography club my experience, okay, into a multifold fruits for me?
Okay, that is
interesting.
Yeah,
correct?
Interesting.
All right. So now if I'm in a photography club, my hobby is photography. So I create the photographs and lovely pictures I take around and all that. That satisfies my inner feeling to me. It gives me great satisfaction. It also allows me to keep away from me the another mental stress issues, because it's more of a rejuvenation. Okay, so there is a second benefit.
Yeah.
It gives your mental health better.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 3 is that everybody wants a recognition of whatever you do.
Okay.
So showing your pictures to others and getting that satisfaction. So you go to Insta, you go to this and all that. Fourth thing, how do you do the photography? You can come out with the teaching modules on the YouTube. You run your launch your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
You make that as a incentivizations, making money out of it. Okay, that's one way. I'm talking only one skill only. I'm not talking multiple. So you're making the money out of it. Now the thing is that now if you are a true Bitsian spirit person, and you capture the imaginations of the different activities on campus through your camera, all right, you come out with the beautiful frames of all those pictures, and when the alumni are coming on campus, you can sell them as a merchandise.
Okay.
They can take away these pictures as memories, which is captured with the Radies or in an Ankh or in a Skylab or Rotunda or any other places, because it is a nostalgia for them.
Yeah, right.
All right, you are generating the revenue out of that. All right, you create this learning. You can bring it in the institute. There are schools. You conduct a workshop for the students to how to do the photography. You can earn the money out of it.
Yeah, right.
Just a one hobby, multiple outcomes. All right, but what you require is a very structured way of taking out the maximum benefit out of one thing.
Yeah.
All right. So I think I always feel that if I had that kind of a talent, possibly I would not have been a director of the institute. I would have been doing something like that.
And actually you write beautifully. You pen down
Oh,
the
no.
poetry beautifully. Yeah, I'm seeing your post regularly, and oh my God, it's so beautiful. Even after the
I don't write beautifully. Let me just tell you that. As I said that I grew up in Gujarat.
Yeah.
I used to write in Gujarati earlier.
Okay.
Okay, so in fact, during my most stressful time of engineering, I have written a national award-winning book that time, small book that time. In the Gujarati, I wrote that. Okay, and that is worked as the most critical time when you have your so-called your compre. That was my end semester examination, most stressful time. During that period, I wrote that.
Okay.
So it was actually Stressbuster for me, for
Writing,
kind of writing something during the examination time. And that's how I had done that. So what I'm trying to, basically, I just want to say that writing allows you to put your emotions and your feelings at that point of time and works as a stress buster. And more than that, now at this point of time, because I need to kind of convey what is there in my heart, all right, to the outside world, but just expressing myself with the outside world, what I am feeling, if I'm able to connect with the outside world also with me. So if you see those posts in LinkedIn, it actually connects with the Bitsian spirit.
Yeah.
But that spirit comes from within me, that what I am feeling that point of time. So I think that's how I try to bring the two things together. So
yeah, it is very let's say creative mindset, as well as very good mix of you are technically you are an engineer, you are into the technical jargons, and you are also leading a institution, and at the same time you are having this beautiful poetry out there every day. And, every one of us is reading, and I felt very connected just after the Dairo party, if I personally say that. That was beautifully written, the poetry, and the post was beautiful. And okay, as you talked about the Bitsian DNA, do you think we have this, there's something that differentiates Bitsian from IITs and Stanford's people? Do we have that differentiating DNA?
Oh yes, definitely. I think Bitsians always has a very unique identity of themselves. I always keep telling that they are defined in one word only: simplicity. So all Bitsians are very, very simpleton individuals. They they're so simple that they connect with the outside world very, very easily. And I have talked to many of my former students from IIT Kharagpur, and many of the IIT students, I talk to them and all that. They say it's wonderful to get connected with the Bitsians any point of time. They gel, they mix with people. They're very social individual, and I think that's a true spirit of Bitsian. I think it's great to see that the Bitsians are kind of creating their own. I think the impact. It is they people look up to us, our Bitsians, saying that they are the people who are critical thinker. They really can think out of box. They are very easygoing. That they know how to manage the work-life balance. They are good at both the things. Okay, they can have fun also, but at the same time they are very critical about their work also. So I think these are the good qualities. But I think in one word, if you ask me personally, I always feel that they are very simpleton. Very, very simple, because I have seen so many batches of alumni coming down here and all that. Fantastic individuals, fantastic people. And that simplicity only is able to connect generations across the various years of batches. So that is a tying thread which they have actually. So that's a good part.
And when you are talking about this simplicity, I want to ask you, you are now like mentoring generations of engineers for a long time now. How does a day as director look like for you?
For me?
Yeah.
I think, let me just tell you, I'm not a person who plans the day, to be very honest. I have taken my life also the way it has come to me, actually. That's why I always call that I'm an accidental academician. I was not the academician by plan. It just happened to be academician. So I think I have taken my every day as the way it comes, actually. When I say I'm not planning anything, doesn't mean that some meetings would be there. That is something which is unavoidable. But otherwise, I don't plan my day. If suppose I don't have any meetings and all that, I'm very, very open about it. And that gives me the opportunity to kind of be very, adaptive. Whatever it comes on the way, try to be part of it. And that is how I take the life, actually. So the typically day, like, I just wake up and I'm in some sense little bit disciplined, that I have my timings fixed for my breakfast, my coming to office, going back from the office, and then remaining time I spend on different activities. So effectively, what I can say that the day looks very, very normal. There is nothing very exciting happens on the day. But I think for me, every human is a book.
Okay.
So anybody comes to my office, I'm actually as good as like I'm reading a book.
Okay.
Okay. So everyone has a story. Everyone has whatever interactions I have, that small period of time, maybe from 1 minute to maybe 1 hour. In the process, I'm learning many things like I'm reading a book, actually.
Okay.
So this is, and I'm not judgmental. I don't make the judgment about individual. I kind of read people with an open mind, and that's something which I love it, and I love to interact with people.
Yeah.
So that's the best part about in the director's office, you can say.
And does that sometimes feel lonely? Does the leadership sometimes feel lonely?
See, I'll tell you, leaders are always lonely at the top. Leaders are always lonely at the top, and it is the responsibility of a leader how he or she wants to take it up. Okay, so as a director, I never felt that I'm lonely. Okay, I always had connected with the people around me, be it my colleagues in the institute or be it the students and all that. So I never felt that I'm lonely. In true sense, I'm lonely here because my family does not stay with me. I'm alone here. Okay, my wife is a professor in IIT Kharagpur, and my 2 daughters are there. They are in different locations. So I'm lonely in that sense, you can say. But otherwise, I'm not lonely, because I think I have a lot on my plate to kind of think about it and do different things. So I think you have to kind of, as a person, need to be very adaptive with the people around. And as I said, that my whole upbringing has taught me that how to be adaptive with the system. So
yeah. And there's a famous saying also that half of the time is spent figuring out what not to do. And while you are in this, era, there are thousands of opportunities coming in every day. How do you figure out that, okay, this is worth it and this is not? This is just.
So you mean to say from administration point of view?
Yeah, and as well as from point of view where you are giving.
My personal growth.
Yeah, personal growth.
Okay, so I'll tell you. First and foremost thing is that if you look at from a personal growth point of view, you just said as the way you as a student, suppose you are sitting for a placement and a multiple opportunity comes. So when you are in a leadership position, there'll be multiple opportunities coming on your way. Okay, you need to have a clarity of thoughts in your mind. That is very, very important. What lacks in this young generation is that they have a lot of information, they have a lot of knowledge, but they don't have a clarity sometimes what exactly they want. Very few people have that. I have seen that. And ye bhi chahiye, wo bhi chahiye type things are there. So if you have a clarity of thought, then I think the pathway becomes very, very clear for you. So you should be like a Arjun. You should be able to see the eye of the bird only, nothing else. Okay, and that's if that clarity, if it is there, I think nothing can disturb you. Then in the process, sometimes you might end up losses also. There's nothing wrong about it, but that should not be regretted because you have taken decision by yourself.
And if I want to ask, if I have to ask, what is the social ROI of a Bitsian leader? How you are convincing a person to possibly try for next couple of years as a startup founder, and it's okay, it's a try, you can fail at the same time. What would be the social ROI for that?
So if in terms of like a counseling you are saying?
Mentoring counseling.
Mentoring, okay. So I'll tell you, see, always I believed, I have taken risk in my life, so I always tell people that if you have made up a mind to kind of, even 1% you have an idea that, okay, you want to venture into this segment and somebody comes for counseling to me or mentorship for me, I would always tell them that take the risk. Because why I'm saying is that always risk has a either positive or the negative, maximum gain would be there. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and suppose it is a positive, the person would be very happy because there is a progression in that part.
Yeah.
So they will get the benefit out of it. If it is negative, let's say, you learn the lessons of life. You cannot put a price tag on that. So it's a very inexpensive experience you have got it, which will make you better as an individual. So I always personally feel that if somebody has come with certain idea and you say, okay, I want to take a decision of having a startup or I want to venture into this one and all that, the first and foremost thing is that are you really mentally prepared to take that plunge or not? Yes or no, you tell me that. If you say, yes sir, I'm more or less competent and I can do that, so take that risk.
Yeah.
I think, so basically what I'm trying to say that failure also is the foundation of your successful life. That is a Neev of your successful life. So failure is that. Success है तो बाहर दिखेगा, वो structure दिखेगा लोगों को. That's a success.
Wow, beautiful line actually. So we got one thing for Neev as well.
Correct, absolutely.
And if I were to like coming to the closing part of if you are not afraid of anything, be as of now, and have to say one thing that is, societal, you have to comment on societal defects. What would you re-engineer and what is that societal defect?
Societal
defect in terms of like engineering is helping society in a way.
Correct.
So if like societal defects and psychological defect, possibly like what people are thinking, like what people are perceiving out of it, society doesn't know.
Okay, so I'll tell you, see, currently the whole society is kind of has become what I should say that in simple language is that everybody is looking for one-upmanship. So basically what they want is that my child has to be the best.
Okay.
So it's like everyone wants the best. Okay. without even understanding that what the child wants. Okay, all right. So I always feel that the society should allow their children, like the plant, to grow naturally, organically, whatever way they want to grow, and not to kind of create the sunlight too much around that, or a shadow around that, and protection around that. I think that is a strong message I want to tell everyone, every parents for that matter actually. Let them decide their destiny. Okay, let them move to the direction where they wish to go. I think don't try to hinder or stop them by taking them risk and all that. In the process of this journey of a child, if anywhere the child fails, okay, just stand by behind him, okay, as a rock solid support, okay, without expecting anything, because for the children, the last hope is the parents, nobody else. The last hope is the parents, and for the parents, a very important role is that whatever may be the situation, maybe good, bad, whatever it would be there, without becoming a judgmental about them, I think you need to stand behind them. That's the most important part. Because if that will not happen, then we will have major socially disturbing, I think, the outcome. So I think we should not do that. As an institutions, as an administrator, we do that, whatever we can do. But I think as a parents, I think that's the last hope for them. So it's in general to community also, I'm telling, not only in this academic institution, but wherever they are, or whatever they do, I think you need to nurture the children very well. I think that is our future actually.
Right. That is very true actually, and there's a lot of discussion about this as well. People have this thing, they're discussing that, okay, society and the parents should not be bounded with the curriculum, the box, the title, and still it is being out there, it is still people have this mindset, traditional mindset, following that same system. But going beyond that, to end this, I want you to recite a poem that you feel relatable today, and
okay, I'll not recite a poem, but it is my favorite lines actually. So this is something which I just want to tell, particularly because I call always Youngistan, and Youngistan has to keep it in mind one thing, that there will be many occasions and many situations will come. Some of the things will happen in your life as per your wish. Sometimes it may not happen as per your wish. All right. So I'll just close with the two lines. He says, "Duniya na jeet pao to haro na khud ko tum. Duniya na jeet pao to haro na khud ko tum. Thodi bahut to zehn mein narazgi rahe."
wow.
Okay, so basically the intent is that sometimes you fail miserably. But I think it's okay. I think that's a part of life. It makes you momentarily sad, but it's not going to be sad forever actually, because the cloud cover has to go away someday, and there is always a light at the end of the tunnel actually. So that's always there, and hope only is the key word of a life.
Yeah, right.
So that's very, very important.
It is a beautiful line, and as our batch, we are 2022 batch, we are coming to the end of this very great era. I think that is correctly, matching somewhere that कुछ चीज़ें तो रह गई यहाँ पे करना, और बहुत सारी memories के साथ we are moving ahead.
Definitely, I think wishing you all the best, and keep shining, and like your parents, we are also standing behind you.
Yes.
And we want you to be always be very great, successful, wishing you all the best, and make us proud. You're our rock stars.
Thank
Always
you.
I say that.
Thank you very
so
much, sir.